Moving on to burden of proof in the case of civil cases. So number one, the general rule. So in a civil case, the burden of proof in civil cases is pushed onto the plaintiff, and the plaintiff bears the legal burden to prove his case on a balance of probabilities against the defendant, whereas the defendant will have to take on the evidential burden to raise sufficient evidence. So in one example, in Nas Faikah Muhammad Helmi v Kerajaan Malaysia, the court explained that in civil litigation, the question of probability or improbability of an action occurring is an important consideration to be taken into account in deciding whether that particular event had actually taken place or not. Moving on to number two, proving particular facts. As per the principle of he who asserts must prove, therefore the burden of proof can be found in section 101, 102 and 103 in the Malaysian Evidence Act. Section 101 emphasizes that the legal burden of establishing a case as studied in number 1, whoever desires any court to give judgment as to any legal right or liability dependent on the existence of facts which he asserts must prove that those facts exist. And in number 2 it states when a person is bound to prove the existence of any fact, it is said that the burden of proof lies on that person. In an example, Miller v. Minister of Pensions, it is explained that it must carry a reasonable degree of probability, and if the evidence permits the tribunal to say, we think it more probable than not, then the standards has been achieved. If probabilities are equal, the standards will not be reached. Moving on to number 3, proving facts, especially within knowledge. This is what is section 106 Malaysian Evidence Act. When any fact is especially within the knowledge of any person, the burden of proving is upon him.